So today we're going to be investigating this pretty big meme token project, which is called Big Eyes, which has managed to raise over $29 million. And they're going to be raising $50 million before they're going to be launching their meme token on Ethereum, which is crazy given the fact that we are still in the bear market and it's really hard with the current market conditions to raise that much money, especially for a meme token. Even some top legit projects are not going to be raising that much money as this project basically has since of the inception of the multi-stage token sale that they're basically doing. Now, as always in my investigations, we're going to be looking multiple different forms of evidence, which will be eventually building out the case. Starting off with the white paper. So when we are looking at the visual look of this project altogether and the marketing, it's actually pretty good. But when you look into the hard code and the facts, things start to basically fall apart quite a lot. It doesn't matter if the marketing is very good and it visually looks great if it's going to be falling apart the minute it's basically launching. So in the beginning, there's a bit of like an introduction here. And as I already alluded, there's nothing really special about this token. There are no burn systems. Nothing innovative is happening here that haven't been done before. And it's just like there's some like nonsensical stuff here. Now then we get into actual bit of the tokenomics here. 90% of the tokens are going to be available at launch. 5% is going to be allocated to saving the oceans. They don't even state here, well, which charities actually we're going to be putting out that money. That's kind of like a very important because people who actually care about charities should know that shit. Like, I want to know where my money is exactly putting in when I'm giving money to charity, obviously. Then they talk about this NFT collection, and this is very vague. There's nothing about are the NFTs going to be bought with the tokens? How many there are? What is the utility of them? Like, there's nothing here that talks about the NFT collection. There's no images or anything like that. And then 55% is going to be allocated for the marketing. But this doesn't make any sense. If you have already raised $29 million worth in Ethereum and all these other altcoins, use that money to basically do the marketing, which they are already doing, by the way. So it doesn't make any sense that they would have to reserve 5% of the token supply for marketing because they are already paying the marketing with the amounts of funds that they have already raised. That's like very granted. Like, no top tier project does this in this way in case they have raised money. If it's going to be a fair launch, like there's not going to be a sale, then it makes sense that some will be allocated for marketing. But otherwise, like, hell no. That's like a massive red signal here. And this is obviously the second most massive red signal here. So the team is anonymous. Okay. And if I was an anonymous person and I was running a project in crypto, I would not use a pseudonymous identity as they have here done so. So the CEO is called Pawzilla, which is probably plagiarized from the actual NFT from CryptoKitties known as Pawzilla. Something that I was able to find out. And then we have Catnipper, Hyper. Then we have the OP Cat. What the fuck is that? Is that a position? Hype is maybe more marketing. Tech is writing the code. The Law Cat maybe is looking at some legal things. But what the fuck is the OP Cat? What are these two people? Making things happen since things need it done. What type of a position is that? You're not, okay, you may be trying to look funny here or something. That's kind of the theme here, not being super serious. But like, that's not a position. Who the fuck are these people, okay? And as I said, if I was anonymous, I would just say there's two people in the coding development, but that would not assign any names to them as pseudonymous names, which, by the way, none of these people, I search every single name, none of them are in the Telegram, and none of them are in Discord. They do not actually exist. These are totally made up people and names to make it seem like there's a big team behind it, and there might be a big scamming team behind it. That's not to say there, but expecting that there's like a technical person and not an outsourced smart contract, which fundamentally looks like, because there's nothing really unique about the smart contract, which would need you to get an actual technical expertise here. And we're going to be talking about that tech aspect also in a second. So the team was a massive red flag. And here they talk about, big on this, big on influencers. Like, there's nothing about talking about the tokenomics. Some weird ass beauty contest and like the boulder holders. Like, it's like very, very vague stuff here. And they talk about DeFi here. 90%, 99% of the world's population, only 1% having made it. And now we are going to be changing things. Oh, for sure. And you know, a lot of the things about the value systems, okay, these are total nonsense again here, silly stuff. And here are the tokenomics. 70% to public presale, okay? And that is through 15 different stages. I believe the first stage started around September. So they have been selling these tokens for a very long time. And on each stage, the value of the token are basically going up. Okay, that's their marketing strategy. You get in early and you get to dump on the people who buy late. Okay, and I have participated in a lot of these types of projects. Nobody wants to buy with the late prices, like especially with the market cap that they're raising. I don't think that they're going to be able to get 50 million. Just saying, especially after this video. And 20% for exchanges. Well, I don't think exchanges are really accepting or wanting to have sums of the tokens, you know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Once again, they are going to be paying them in Ethereum to basically get listed. They have also claimed, oh, it's going to be a tier 1 exchange. Well, I mean, you are kind of close to launch because they are in the 12th stage of the sale, and then there's going to be a 15th one, which is going to be the last one, presumably. So you should have already the exchange in place, and you have the evidence that, oh, it's going to be on tier 1 exchange, but they don't have any of that. If you're going to ask them on Telegram, well, what is going to be that tier 1 exchange? They're not going to name that. And then there's some taxes on the NFTs, which, by the way, the OpenSea just like ditch everything. Like there's not going to be any taxation systems probably in place once that shit launches. NFT events will happen with seasons, empowered cats, like very nonsensical stuff here, as I said. The audit of the token, X3, does it mean that you're auditing the token 3 times? Pre-sale website that's on, pre-sale live, media stunt. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. And then it's going to be launching on Uniswap, and I believe there was also a centralized exchange launch, verification on social media channels, blah, 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 blah. Merch shop, okay. Digital stickers, whatever that is. Community, given big eyes, stage 3. And these are just like amping up. There's nothing like technologically making like progress. They're not building anything else that like Shiba Inu or they are not building. And these are just disclaimer bullshit. Okay. Now, when I went to actually ask about the team, why is it not on Telegram? And the admin, which by the way also has a name, you know, unique as Big Eyes Coin. And okay. Okay. It says they don't need to be present here. We informed them about everything that is happening here. Okay, what a fucking troll comment, okay? And then they went on saying like, well, you know, they're top executives. They don't need to be on the Telegram or the Discord. Like, that's absolutely preposterous. Absolutely. That there are no team members, actually. They don't need to spam on the chat or whatever, but just being on even on the member list. Now, they also do have this ambassador dude named Kronos, okay? And I went to actually look on his profile, and he happened to be a COO of this very failing project called LinkSync, which managed to basically lose, and this was actually after the whole crash on the crypto market. He managed to like lose 99% of the value of the token. Now look at the volume, was in 69,000, and now it's like trading like $150 per day or $60 per day. Volume is $65 for the last 24 hours. So a massive crash, and basically this was a scam. Like this is like no doubt about it. Like the amount of time it managed to actually hit a all-time low, which was in the 7 years. So from August to November, they managed to lose 99.33% of your value. Now, why the fuck you would have a guy who happens to be a COO on such a massive failing project on your Telegram as a fucking ambassador, unless you were running a scam? Like, this guy already knew how to pull a rug pull. Let's get him in. Okay. Then there is the sales page, and they talk about the audits here. There's 2 audits done here, and I did my fair amount of research on these, and we have talked about this before. I always say there has to be audits for projects, audits, but also the quality of audit really matters. Is it by CertiK? And the scam may not happen in the contract itself, which is a very important part here. They already changed the contract code once, which we're going to be looking in a second. But before we go into that, I do want to talk about, this is the stage, the launch price is going to be this, and we're currently sitting at 49, and it started out. So basically the people are going to be buying at 49 times higher price than the people in the beginning. So is that something you want to buy at when there's going to be so many people who are going to be dumping on you? so early on. And here they talk about, they have the audacity to talk about even $1. With $1 valuation, this would be rank 3 coin, basically almost equal to Ethereum. It's not possible. Like, it's not possible that there would be a coin that would manage to capture so much of a market cap to actually reach $1. So this is absolutely very misleading information. And this is the problem when people buy these meme tokens. They don't never measure the market cap of that meme token to top projects in the space. Like, it would still be like 6 times X Doge and Shiba to basically hit dollar. Even 50 cents would be above those coins. So it's an absolute ludicrous statement to even assume there would be a possibility for $1. And you are able to basically, I don't know why you would have a promo code. You're kind of like obviously alluding that there would be something like, this is like scam site 101, like you're talking about. There's a promotion going on right now, 200 bonus, you buy now. Like, that's just, it's not like very good. And right now, 29 million. So apparently they might have changed the large sum from 50 to 33 million. So they're pretty close to that. Or maybe this is the stage system here. Whatever. And there you go into a bit of the, you can buy with ETH and BNB. BNB is like a very sketchy coin in my opinion, because that's run usually by many Chinese scammers. Like BNB is like, much as I like ZZ and Binance as a whole, but their chain is an absolute fucking scam fest. Like, there's nothing really legit running on that chain. And then there's the smart contract, which we're going to be looking into in a second. And all these audits. There's much more information. And here they say, like, NFTs coming soon, influencers coming soon. Like, you guys have been on business for, like, over 5 months now. Where are the fucking influencers? Why you haven't actually, like, stated any of them? When we go into the actual Solidity Finance smart contract here, they say here that, you know, they were first auditing a contract which wasn't the same that Big Eyes went publicly state on Twitter that, hey, we have done an audit, and then the Solidity Finance came to contract. I'm like, no, actually, we verified the old contract that he gave us. And Solidity Finance has actually endorsed or has done audits for projects which ended up being scams, which I will be proving you later in this video. So this is a very important thing about this thing, that not all, you know, auditors are one-to-one equal. And it doesn't mean that even if there's nothing malicious on the code, it doesn't actually, you know, matter that the scam still can happen. There can be a rug pull, whatever things. Now, I want to add this here, something about statement. If we are buying tokens right now, and you're not doing anything special, this is not like new blockchain, it's not like some super high coding contract here. Nothing stops you from building out a contract and giving you IOU tokens before the launch, or giving you the tokens and then unfreezing them after launch happens. So if you were actually building out trust for the buyers, you would introduce a system that would give you frozen tokens or tokens that are just going to be able to be converted into the real thing once it launches. We have all that technology in place. There's like free systems basically which you can use, like open source stuff for those contracts. So there's no reason to basically hold the tokens right now in one address, which is the one that basically deployed the tokens on the mainnet. So that's like a very sketchy thing. The Solidity Scans gives 3.4 rating out of 5. Not super amazing. The owners can blacklist tokens and users. So that's a very sus thing here. Like, you can release the tokens, and then you can also like block everybody's accounts from trading, and then you're going to be dumping yourself. So that's a very nice feature there. And there are some critical administrative functions, which it says, which are very sus. And obviously, all the supply is held by one account right now. Just I explained, there's no reason to basically, with the modern technology, and if you have a real coder in your team, allegedly, he probably would be able to do that type of contract by looking at the existing things. Now, this is obviously the big thing that they say on the Twitter when people say, you're a scam, is that we have a KYC audit. Now, they use the language here. Here's an example, like, any else wondering if this is a scam, and here they say about we being KYC audited, and key emphasis on we. and contract code has been fully audited by Solidity Finance. Now, I talked to the guys at CoinSniper, and they told me that they only verified one person. Not we, one person, which was the CEO. Now, the question here is obviously, well, why was there KYC done on one of the team members, not on all the 6 people working on the team and the marketers and all that stuff? Why would there be a one person only audited? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. And it also doesn't really make sense that you would be willing to go through KYC to one entity, but not publicly. Okay, you already gave the information to CoinSniper. Why would you hold that information from the public? Why would you hold your KYC information from the public at this point? It doesn't make any sense. And also, the CoinSniper, contact told me that, well, we didn't actually ask mobile verifications, proof of address, no utility bills, no selfies. It was just like some video and ID, which both of them could have been deepfaked or hacked or just farmed from like any black market. Because how many people have done, including me, KYCs on platforms which has probably sold our data onwards to other people, which is totally very possible occurrence which may have happened to many people. So identity thefts are very common in crypto, and you can buy them from the dark web. So the KYC was only done for one person, and even that was very, very limited. I don't know if CoinSniper is actually complicit on this scam, but it remains to be seen altogether. But it's not like a very good way to actually conduct a KYC if you're going to be asking just a very limited information which can be falsified in a very easy way. Now, there's also other investigations which have been done on Big Eyes, and this goes into, well, what other projects were basically involved in here linked to this thing. Because usually the scammers will run, as I have investigated when we did the MYX, when we did the LIT protocol, when we did the Trust Swap, all of those projects had all the similar patterns. They were launching project after project after project, then abandoning them, then doing the rug pull or whatever form of scam they were doing. And this is no different from the scammers. They did a one scam and they're going to be doing more, okay? And here we have the evidence which was provided by Business to Community by Matt Williams, not an anonymous person, real Matt Williams. And basically that there was the same mailing list used by these other projects which were part of this scam launchpad known as BoostX, okay? And the 2 projects which were in the BoostX were called Firepin, Seesaw. Okay, and those are 2 things we're going to be talking about these later on. So the allegation is that the same scammers who were running these 2 projects, which were, by the way, also running out these multi-stage token, amounts being raised. So similar type of monetization as a model with anonymous people. And here it goes into details of these BoostX launchpads. And here's another review by another YouTuber. He doesn't actually make any type of he's just skeptical about the anonymous team, but he didn't do any investigations whatsoever. And basically, this is something I alluded earlier, that RoboApe token, which was verified by Solidity Finance, emerging to be a scam. So there are and have been scammers who will use auditing firms, and they will do scams. Because it's a great way to sell your scam. Oh, we are verified. We're totally legit. And then you have some type of evidence to put it forward, which is not even part of the way that they're going to be scamming these people. All aforementioned crypto scams did not have a public docs team that appeared on video, which also applies to Big Eyes pre-sale. So, especially right now, given to the fact that let's go into the first news here, which is this is the big thing that basically, I believe, raised so much money for the project, which is that they had a 3D billboard in New York. Times Square, yes, which is a lot of places where there has been a lot of marketing, which is good marketing. Now, obviously, there has to be an entity in place who's going to be, making that sale. I don't know if that has been done by third party or what. Or is there just a person that is running all types of crypto scams and putting them into the Times Square? Because I believe there might have been, there might be a one contact who does that all the time, and that's his job. Because I'm pretty sure that there has been other scams on the 3D billboard. This was a big marketing thing, okay? And there's even a video in Twitter which goes into showing out the animation that it's real. This is not a deep fake or anything else. There's a weird freeze in this video. I don't know why that is. Oh, it's just lagging. Okay, whatever. And this is a very important part about this investigation is this website called Analytics Insight. And when I went to search Big Eyes in this website, and today is February 20th, they have done 4 articles about Big Eyes today. And when you actually scroll, actually 5. So let's go and scroll through this. Look at how many articles they have done. No respectable publication does this many sponsored articles. These are all still in February, by the way. This is how many articles you have done. So why would anybody do this many articles about one coin? Like, this is not Bitcoin where there's a lot of things to talk about in terms of price and everything, but like this is like absolute shilling. And these are like how many 100 articles there are. Okay, like it's a massive amount. Now, what turns out about this Analytics Insight website is that they also endorse these other scams, which we just mentioned, Firepin and Seesaw. And they did similar scam after scam, like multiple articles per day throughout the course of time. Like, how many articles are you going to be doing? Like, usually when Cointelegraph does a one sponsored article a week maximum or something like that. So they don't know, like, respectable publication actually engages in so many articles about a one specific coin. So this is like crazy. And then there's the Seesaw, which we talked about, which was the other scam. So it's very easy to believe right now that given the fact that the websites that are actually covering Big Eyes right now are the same that were running these other scams. So basically you have this scam network which is going to be able to push out these same things. And it wouldn't be surprising that they would be able to also list in some type of a Chinese scam exchange in case they're going to be ever doing a centralized exchange release, and like assuming that will be possible for them. I mean, they have the money and they can buy legitimacy with that, but I don't know if they actually will go through that. But like, look at how many articles were done about these scams, and they haven't even taken these down. And look at the person who wrote them, Market Trends. This is not even a profile. Then there's another website, Bitcoinist, which is a bit more something that I've come across in the past making articles, and look how many articles they have done about Big Eyes. Absolutely a lot. Like, so many articles. And some of these are like done like 4 articles per day. That's crazy. No website would be able to do that, especially on fucking Christmas, guys. Like, this is just like engineered scam. Like, this is everything in it. The same website talked about Seesaw, same scam, you know, part of the whole same scam here, and it also talked about Firepin. So you can see the patterns here. The same scammers are basically using the same websites to market out their projects. All of this information about the anonymous team is very dubious altogether. Like, even if you are able to get yourself in, you know, the Times Square, it's not a form of legitimacy. You just pay people money enough, and you can get things done. And same for audits. You pay enough, and you will get the audits done. So my verdict really is here that there's just too many red signals from the people that they associate with. The team is not in Discord. They're not in Telegram. And why would you need to raise so much more money for a meme token? And why would you do this multi-stage sale? It doesn't make any sense. Like, normal crypto projects will have a VC sale and a private equity, sale, and then there will be another private sale, and then there will be the public sale. Like 4 sales max, okay. And maybe there are some, modern cryptos will have some like influencer sale there on top of it. But fundamentally, like anything above like 4 to 5 sales stages, it's just like harnessing your money, and you're not getting any form of a IOU token for the money you have invested. It's absolutely ridiculous in terms of the modern technology that we have. And there's probably some other information regarding who owns this website. Is the website owned by the same people? I didn't get that far in this investigation, but I'm sure there's more to be dug up regarding that. But if you saw this video and believe what I'm saying, go spam this video on their Twitter account, go spam this video on their Telegram, and go spam this video also on their Discord. The truth has to be set out free, and people need this information before more people are going to be losing money. $29 million have already been lost, okay? And yeah, the token might actually launch, but the idea of them actually sticking around after the first 2 weeks and building anything, It's not going to happen. They will give out some bullshit excuse. Well, enthusiasm has been lost on this project, so we're going to be abandoning this. I mean, I've heard this a million times before from scammers. So, I mean, you know, if you're not running a scam, there's not really any reasons to be anonymous. If you're going to be participating on like tax evasion or something like that. Like, you can be anonymous as a, you know, individual seller or whatever. But if you're anonymous and running a project, there's no way really to give a proper excuse for that. Especially when you're asking for money, okay? Like, absolutely not. But I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Hopefully this was an insightful video, and we're gonna be seeing you in the next video, whenever that may be. Another investigation is happening, a bit more larger, a bit more different one. But yeah, if you have any projects which should be investigated, leave a comment down below, and we can discuss about whatever they are worth seeking and looking into. Cheers.